I'm Andrea Giles, and you're listening to episode number 100 of the Heal from Infidelity podcast, the best of Heal from Infidelity. Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 100. 100. I can't even believe it. It kind of crept up on me. Actually, one of my clients pointed it out. Said, "You're almost to 100. Can you believe it?" So crazy. So crazy. You know, can I just say something? Well, I'm going to say a lot of things, but I want to say this before I dive into today's episode. If there's something that you want to start and that feels scary, but that you feel a push to do it, just do it. Just take the leap. I had no clue when I started this podcast 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, what it would become, who I would get to interact with because of it, the clients I would get to serve, the people I would be able to bring together. I had no idea. And I was so scared and so like, oh my gosh, am I really doing this? And 100 episodes in, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful I took the leap. If there's something that you want to do, but you can't see quite how it all works and how it's all going to come together, you don't need to know. You don't need to know. Just start. Okay? Just start. Take my word for it. Okay. So yes, episode 100. My business is now an international business. I have worked with clients from all over the globe, from Asia, different places in Europe, Canada, all over the United States. It's really amazing. I'm so grateful. And I've met so many incredible people along the road. Today, what I'm going to do is I went through and looked at the statistics for all of my episodes, and I pulled clips from the top 5 episodes. And you voted, right? These are the ones that people go back and listen to again and again. Some of them that I have on here, they have downloads that are twice the amount of my normal episodes. So people go listen to them again and again and again. So I pulled some clips from them. I'm going to talk about them a little bit, and I hope you enjoy it. Before we dive into that, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for taking the time to go leave a review. I read every single review. Everyone. The good, the bad, the ugly. I read them all. And I take them to heart, and I appreciate them so much and learn from them and what I want to improve and check in with myself of the things that I want to bring to make this better. So thank you very much for taking the time to do that. And I ask, if you have not yet reviewed my podcast, if you would. It very much affects the rating. It very much affects like the algorithm of what comes up when people look for infidelity. And if you go to my social media, I am hosting a fun little contest, a little 100 episode celebration where you're going to win some prizes for reviewing, for sharing, things like that. Anyway, so go check that out. Andrea_Giles_coaching. And you'll see the celebration for this and a way to earn some fun prizes. As far as future plans for the podcast goes, I have some fun guests coming up. I have some fun episodes coming up that I know you'll love. I know that you'll enjoy them. I still just listen to what keeps coming up for people, and that's what I cover. And I also want to point out that I am 100 episodes in, and I go back to some of my earlier episodes, and I have been coaching for over 2 years longer with lots of people. And so I know more than I did. I've learned more. And so there may be in the future some episodes that I come back and circle around to and go in more depth about or teach a little bit differently. Just watch for that. Anyway, as far as the frequency of this goes, I'm still going to stick with every other week. I thought that I would be going back to every week by now, but I have had so much inspiration and just things come to me that need to be created, ideas of things that need to be created to help my clients. And I need time for that. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep this every other week for now and give myself the time needed to get those things created for my clients. And hopefully at some point I will go back to once a week, but right now it's going to stick to every other week while I am in major creation mode. Okay, with further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Top five episodes. One more quick thing at the end of this episode, if you stay to the end, I'll talk about how you can currently work with me. I hear from many of you who are looking for that. My web page, I'm working on editing my web page because it no longer portrays the main ways that you can work with me. And just a lot has changed. My business has grown a lot. And so watch for that. But I will be going over at the end of this episode how you can work with me. All right, here we go. By far, the most popular episode was episode number 1, My Story. And that's really cool and really humbling. And I appreciate that you have listened to that. It has over double what most of my episodes have. And I've thought about that and went back and listened to it. And I think that part of the reason why it has been popular is because it is my first episode. So when somebody's trying to learn about somebody and should I give this person a listen, naturally they're going to listen to episode 1. But I also think that part of it might be because in this space of infidelity, it can feel so lonely. And it can feel like no one really gets it, right? No one really understands. And in episode 1, I lay out my story and how I get it, how I know what it feels like, how I understand the decision. I understand the heartache and all of it. And I'm speaking from experience of somebody who has gotten on the other side of it and is living a really great life and really enjoying my life. Okay, so we're going to go to some clips from episode number 1. Now, I thought that if I fixed myself, that things would get better. So I went to lots of counseling. Pretty early on in our marriage, I went to counseling. I thought that there must be something wrong with me, and that if I fixed myself, then maybe things would be better in our marriage. We also did some couples counseling here and there, and it didn't really help much. I learned more about different behaviors and things like that in myself, but it didn't really help our marriage move forward. And I wondered why. Fast forward, year 15. We'd been married for 15 years. And right around that time, a lot of things came to a head, and I decided that it was time for a change. I realized that the only way that things were going to get better would be if I made the change. So right as our 16-year anniversary hit, I was filing for divorce and preparing for a lot of uncertainty. I did not know how we would be okay. I didn't know what it would look like. I was married to a successful lawyer who made good money, and I had always been a stay-at-home mom. We had 6 children, 14 and under, and I didn't know what the future held. But I knew that I couldn't wait anymore for him to change. I knew that I couldn't give him that responsibility. That if I wanted my life to change, if I wanted things to change for my family, that I needed to take that on and be willing to go through it. And it was really, really tough. I experienced a lot of fear. I experienced a lot of doubt. I wondered all the time, now, am I sure I know what I'm doing? Today, am I sure I know what I'm doing? And I had to go back over and over to the things that I knew, the convictions that I knew, that I was capable of changing my own life, that I could use my own agency to change my own life. And so I kept moving forward. I knew that there were parts of our situation that were very, very unhealthy and that they were not going to go away and would likely get worse. And so I kept going. So the divorce finalized, and just 7 months after the divorce finalized, my first husband was killed in a car accident. He was only 39 years old, and once again, myself and my children were met with a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of grief. And for all of us, it kind of felt like losing him twice. It was a pretty hard time. While I was in the middle of going through divorce, backing up a little bit, I had lots of women reach out to me saying, me too, me too. And during that time, I had this thought, Andrea, you need to get through this. You need to weather this and be on the other side of this so you can help other women who are going through the same thing. And it was at that time that I decided that I wanted to make it a profession to help women who were in the same situation I was. Okay, on to the next. The second most popular episode is episode number 3, How to Make Decisions. So I'm going to be playing you a clip from that. I think that making decisions is hard for a lot of people. I would even venture to say most people. A lot of us just don't necessarily trust ourselves to make decisions that we can stand by. We often look to other people for information of how to make decisions, or we think that other people know better than we do, or we're really afraid of what happens after we make a decision. So I think that this episode is one that was popular because many of us struggle with this. And it's something that I work with my clients with all the time. Like every single client has this issue. So, yep, it's a popular one for a good reason. So go check out these clips. Another thing is resistance. Sometimes we feel resistance when we are changing things up, when we have a decision to make. And sometimes when we feel that resistance, we might interpret it as that we're making a bad decision, that we are clearly doing something wrong. And that is a lie. That's a lie our brain will tell us to keep us from stretching and making it work. Our lower brain will offer decisions that will keep us comfortable. For example, eat the cookies. Don't do that thing that is scary. Don't work out. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. Don't put yourself out there. It's scary out there. So how do you make decisions? We make decisions from our higher brain, the prefrontal cortex. That's our wise, grown-up version of ourselves. Our lower brain is kind of like a toddler. It's like, oh yeah, we want all the cookies. We want to eat ice cream for breakfast. Okay. The prefrontal cortex is the wise version of us. It's where decisions are made. It's where our best decisions are made, I should say. It's where we have our best ideas. It's where we set goals. It's where we push ourselves. It's where we grow. Okay. So with all of that, I'd like to head into step number 1. Okay. So step number 1 in decision making is exploring your options. Get clear on what you are deciding. There's always so many decisions to make, right? Write it down. Just sit down, do some brainstorming. Are there lots of decisions to be made? Write them down. Look at your list. Which one thing would create the most impact to decide? If you decided it, and if you just went forward with it, what would happen? Other ways to decide are asking, if I decided on this, what impact 5 years from now would it have? If I just decided and moved forward with it, in 5 years from now, what would change because of this decision today? Another question is, what is it costing me not to make this decision? What's it costing me in brain space? What's it costing me day to day? Answer that. When we ask our wise prefrontal cortex brain good questions, it gives us great answers. But we have to pause. We have to sit with those questions and listen and wait for it to answer. The reason that we do or don't do anything is because of a feeling. Did you know that? So the reason we might want to know if we should, for example, stay married and try something new within that. Try having more honest conversations. Try going and talking to somebody. Whatever that might be, the reason why we want to do that or don't want to do that is because we think that it will make us feel a certain way. So think about it, okay? If we want to lose weight, for example, we think it's because we'll feel a certain way once we've lost the weight. If we want to change things up, like a place to move or a new job, it's because we think that we'll feel a certain way when we have that thing, when we're there. So knowing that, what is the feeling that you want? What is it? What are you seeking? Get clear with yourself. Answer the question, okay? One fear that people have is, if I stay married, will I feel like I gave up? Will I feel like a doormat? So if you knew that you could feel whatever you want, if you knew that you could handle it, what do you think you would choose? Okay, the third most popular episode is episode number 2, Why You're Stuck. I think that this episode is popular in part because it's one of my early ones, but also because I shed some light on why infidelity can be so difficult and kind of normalize your experience, that you might feel stuck and you're still okay. You might feel really stuck, and you're still okay. Like, it's still normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Your body, your brain is functioning exactly the way it's supposed to. And so I think a lot of people resonated with that because they could breathe a sigh of relief that they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them, right? All is well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed these clips. Okay, so we're going to start with scenario number 1. You found out about your spouse's infidelity. You know it's been going on for a while, and you have contemplated leaving many times, but you're so afraid to get it wrong. You don't want to deal with his emotions about you leaving. You don't even want to deal with your own emotions about it. You don't want to have sad kids, and you have a lot of fear. You don't know how you would take care of yourself financially. There's just so many unknowns that you don't have answers to, so you stay, but you feel terribly stuck. You might even be having people, well-meaning people, tell you that you should leave, but you still stay. That's scenario number 1. In scenario number 2, your spouse decides to leave the marriage and you wonder what you did wrong. You live with a lot of shame, fear, and doubt, and also you feel angry and mad at him a lot of the time too. You often go back and forth between the two, blaming him for the situation you find yourself in, and also feeling so much sadness and shame and guilt and doubt as you watch him build a new life without you. Getting so clear about what we want and then why we want it is the way out. So I start all of my coaching, when I start a new program with brand new clients, we start at this spot of getting clear about what we want and why we want it. And sometimes it takes some doing to even state out loud what my clients want, because they are so used to thinking about what everybody else wants. They've forgotten about what they want. But if you can lean into this thought that your desires, your wishes, the things that you want, that those are actually the markers and the guideposts showing you what you're capable of and where you need to go and the growth that needs to take place to have that thing, lean into it. It's there for a reason. You are given desire for a reason. Lean into it. So I start there with my clients, and then a huge part of it is going through your reason, your compelling reason. Why do you want that thing? And nobody else needs to understand your reason but you. You're the only one that needs to get it. And you're the only one that needs to answer to it and feel good in it. You have to like your reasons why. Other people's judgment, it's not enough. Yeah, what others might say, or even your own judgment, like, oh, I don't deserve that. Oh, that's selfish of me. We're dropping all of that. It's okay to want something just because you want it. But you claim it, say, this is what I want, this is why I want it, and commit to it over and over and over again. That commitment will be the thing that moves you from where you are to where you're going. I know for me, when I was going through divorce, what kept me going was this image of like a peaceful, calm life where I didn't feel like I was in chaos all the time. I didn't wonder what was going to happen the next day. I didn't wonder if we would be okay. I had a vision in my mind of a relationship that was loving and trusting and peaceful. I really wanted peace, and I was willing to do whatever it took to get there. And so I moved forward, even though it was really bumpy at times. Okay, the fourth most popular episode number 6, Feeling Your Feelings. I pulled a couple different clips from this one. Why is this one so popular? I think this one is popular because after infidelity, there's a lot of feelings, and it's hard to know what to do with them. It's hard to know how much airtime to give to them. It's hard to know, is it normal for me to feel this way, or should I be feeling a different way? It can be very, very confusing. And so I think people go back to this one a lot to have kind of a reference point of what to expect, and then with some real clear guidance of what to do with your feelings. So enjoy these clips. So last week, somebody reached out to me and asked me a question, wanting to know how to forgive her husband. She found out a few months ago that her husband has been having an affair, and he's doing the things that she wants him to do, and she truly wants to forgive him, but she doesn't know how. And what I responded to her is asking herself, why does she want to forgive him? What is she wanting to feel? What is she wanting to experience by forgiving him? I'm all for forgiveness. I'm all for the peace that comes from that. But what I wanted her to be aware of is that sometimes what we do is we want to hurry to get to a different emotion. We want to hurry and feel something different so we can get out of whatever pain we're in. And so we think, well, when I forgive, I'm going to feel better. When I get to this spot, then I'm going to feel better. And the truth is that our feelings have to be felt. We have to feel them. We have to go into them. We have to allow them to be in our body. So as a review, our feelings are chemicals released into our bodies from our brain. Okay, so we think a thought. If we believe the thought, it creates a chemical response in our body. It can build up and build up if we don't allow it to be released. And I'm going to be teaching a little bit more about that later on. Another thing to point out is that just because we feel something doesn't mean we need to obey it. So we might feel something, we might feel an urge to do something. It doesn't mean that we have to follow through on that urge. So for example, if you've ever had a craving for something, let's say you have a craving for a chocolate chip cookie. You'll have this craving, this feeling, I need the cookie. And it might seem very logical why you should have that cookie. And if you can pause for long enough and ask some questions of yourself, like, what do I really want? What do I really need? What story is it making it mean that I want this cookie and that I need to have this cookie? What is it that I actually need? What do I actually want to feel? And how can I give that to myself now? What can I learn about myself in this situation? So when we learn to just allow the feelings and feel what we're going to feel, it opens us up to being able to get to know ourselves so much better than if we're just covering it up, for example, by eating that cookie and ignoring the underlying thing that is available to us to learn about ourselves. So the more that you understand how to access how you currently feel, the more you get to control what you create. It's amazing. So let's go into that now. You get to choose the thoughts that create new emotions. So it's like trying on a new outfit. Let's say you try on an outfit and you're wanting to be somebody who feels bold. So you're trying on this outfit of bold. Like, I wonder what it would feel like to feel bold. So you're practicing thoughts that create a feeling of boldness. You're like, it feels a little weird, feels a little bit uncomfortable. And then your brain might go, see, you're not actually bold. Go take the outfit off. It might try to kick it out. But if you're willing to sit in it and be uncomfortable, even with positive emotions, sometimes it's hard for us to feel comfortable because we're not used to it. and our brains will want to kick it out. But if you're willing to think of it like you're just trying on a new outfit, it's okay to be a little uncomfortable. You're like, I'm just trying. I'm just seeing what happens when I try this on. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut the tags off or not. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, but I'm trying it. And I suggest doing this with so many different emotions. You want to feel confident? What are some thoughts that create confidence? Let's try that on. I wonder what confidence might feel like. How about curiosity? I might think I know everything about this situation. And when I think I know this is how I feel, I wonder what it would feel like to be curious about the situation. I might be looking for other ways of thinking about it. I wonder what would happen. So just like the toddler analogy, just because our brains try to reject a positive emotion and tell us that it's not real and that we can't actually have it, remember the toddler. That the toddler has a story to tell, but it doesn't actually mean that the toddler knows what it's talking about, right? We can't take ourselves quite so seriously sometimes. So, one other question to ask yourself when you are trying to process an emotion and when you're looking at it and going, do I want to stay here? Do I want to give it more airtime? Is this going to help me move forward if I process it, or is it going to keep me stuck? Okay, number 5. The 5th most popular episode is episode number 52, When to Leave a Marriage. Interesting, right? I was kind of surprised when I went and looked at the numbers. So a lot of you are making this decision. A lot of you have tentatively decided to stay, but you still feel really uneasy with it. Some of you have decided to leave and feel uneasy with it. Some of you really don't know, and can see pros and cons to both. And so you got one foot in and one foot out and have a really hard time fully going all in, which is understandable. And so this episode covers some of those things and discusses when to really think about leaving if that's something that you are considering. So I hope that you enjoy the clip from this. Here are some questions to consider as you're looking at making your own decisions, okay? And again, this is my opinion. Other professionals have their opinion. These are mine. These are the things that I feel need to be considered when you're making this decision. 1, are you self-confronting? Are you seeing how you have co-created where you are now? Are you willing to be wrong, to apologize, to give the benefit of the doubt? Are you knowing yourself, all of it? Now, I want to clarify something really, really important here. Self-confronting is not taking responsibility for their actions. Their actions are theirs and theirs alone. Okay? I'm not saying that you were partially at fault for the choices that your spouse made to be unfaithful or to be deceptive in whatever way they were. Okay? I'm saying, are you willing to look at your side of it? It's so much easier to just blame, right? To just say, he's just a jerk. He did this and this and this. But where real growth happens is when you're willing to self-confront and hold that mirror up to yourself. I am not suggesting that you are taking responsibility for their stuff, though. That is theirs, okay? Next, number 2, are you learning how to emotionally self-regulate? Are you taking responsibility for your emotions or passing them over to him? This is a hard one. I got married really young, and I had in my head these nice, fluffy thoughts about how a marriage should be, and that a husband should make his wife feel this way, and that a woman should show up in this way. And over time, what I learned is that I needed to take care of my own emotions, that I needed to know how to take care of my own feelings and not hand them over to somebody else. It wasn't until I got more to that point, I'm never going to reach perfection here, okay? But when I got stronger in that area, that I was ready to make that decision, because guess what? A lot of people were uncomfortable with my decision. And I needed to know how to hold space for my own discomfort with their discomfort and move forward anyway. Okay. So are you taking responsibility for your emotions, or are you passing it over to him? Number 3, are you speaking honestly or hiding what is true for you to avoid conflict? I get it. None of us like to go into a fight, right? Or have these conversations that bring up uncomfortable emotion. It's not something we look forward to generally, right? But are you speaking honestly? Are you telling the truth to yourself about what you want? Or are you hiding what is true for you? Are you telling the truth about asking the clarifying questions that you want to know? Or are you avoiding those questions to avoid conflict? Next, are you in a place where you can thrive? Are you in a situation where you can thrive? What is the answer to that? Now, taking personal responsibility for ourselves, we have great power, great potential to thrive in any situation. But when you're looking at it from choice, from what is truly best for you, are you in a place where you can thrive? Next, is he or she willing to do this work as well? Are they self-confronting? Are they showing up with integrity? Are they owning their part? Are they helping to build something stronger? You are doing the personal work of growing up, becoming an emotional adult, showing up in a different way, taking responsibility for your feelings. Is he doing the same? Is he growing up? Now, it might look like it's at a different pace, okay? It might be that your version of growing up is a little different than his, but can you see the intent? Can you see that he's trying? Can you see that he is trying to grow himself up to be an emotional adult? Okay, my friends, there you have it. That's the top 5. Pretty fun to go and look and share these little clips with you. I hope that you enjoyed the refresher too. So to wrap things up, I will let you know what I'm up to. You've heard me talk about No in 90. I am launching a group here that's going to begin in November. I've already started filling spots for it. If you want a spot, email me, Andrea@AndreaGiles.com. Also in the show notes, you can schedule a call with me if you want to talk about it, if you want information about it. And I am also creating some new things for this program. And that's part of what my creation is some new things and some support for after the program is over, for people who want to continue having support, want to continue working with me, things like that. My one-on-one spots are full at the moment, but I do have a wait list and I have some spots opening up before too long. But really your best bet right now, if you want to work with me, is to join the group. And I can't emphasize enough in watching the people who are going through it, who have already gone through it, the power of being in a group and seeing other people, being a witness to other people and having other people be a witness to you. And if this is something that you want, if you're feeling stuck, whether you are still married or not married or wherever you are, I guarantee there are things in this program that will help you get solid within yourself to really move forward. So go check out the link. I'd love to have you if you want to join. So I've got an application for people to apply in and off we go. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Go check out Instagram to participate in the little giveaway. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.